Ladies and gentlemen, most people have no idea what's about to happen. Um, and when I say that, I don't mean something small. I mean something so significant that it will affect every single person listening right now directly. It will affect the way you live, the way you work, the way you think, and the way your children and grandchildren experience life. The truth is, nobody is really telling you this. Not the media, not the so-called experts, not the people you're told to trust. But I am going to tell you, and I'm going to tell you before it's too late. Now please listen carefully. Do not skip a single thing I say in this message, because everything is connected. If you miss one part, you won't understand the full picture. I will tell you exactly what is about to happen toward the end of this talk, and I promise it will change the way you see the future forever. But before I reveal it, you need to understand the preparation. You need the tools, you need the wisdom that will allow you not only to survive, but to thrive. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever had the feeling that something doesn't quite add up in the world around you? That the pace of change is too fast, too complex, and that somehow behind the noise, something deeper is being kept from you? If you have, you're not alone. And I want you to write in the comments right now, what city are you listening from? Tell me where you are, because this isn't just happening in one place. This is global, but it will affect Americans in ways many are not ready for. I want to see voices from across the country. And as you share, like this video, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon. You are choosing to stay informed, prepared, and connected to a circle of truth most people will never hear. Now, before we get into the first step, I need to remind you this is a serious message. Do not treat it lightly. The time you invest here could be the difference between being blindsided and being prepared. Here's the first strategy. Strengthen your daily systems of clarity. What do I mean by that? Most people live day to day reacting to the world around them instead of preparing with discipline. When change comes, they get swept away in fear and confusion. But clarity, mental clarity, spiritual clarity, practical clarity becomes your anchor. Without it, you're lost. One way to strengthen clarity is to create a rhythm, a system, something that grounds you every single day. I recommend using the 31-day daily high-impact planner. It's about training your mind to stay focused when the world feels chaotic. Seniors who use daily planners have been shown to stay sharper, calmer, and more in control of their lives. Write down your intentions every morning. Write down your prayers. Write down your commitments to your family and your community. By the end of 31 days, you will notice you're thinking with precision while others are overwhelmed by noise. Think of it like this. If you were sailing into a storm without a compass, you'd panic. But if you have a compass, you'll hold steady. That planner, your clarity system, is your compass. Now let me tell you a story. A retired couple I once spoke with in Ohio had spent their whole lives saving and planning for retirement. But when sudden health bills and inflation hit them at the same time, they told me they felt as if they were drowning. What saved them wasn't just money. It was the clarity of knowing exactly where their priorities lay, who they could trust, and what decisions mattered most. They said writing it down every day kept them from spiraling into despair. That is the power of clarity. So let me ask you, what do you do each morning that sets the tone for your day? Do you wake up anxious, checking the news, or do you anchor yourself in prayer, gratitude, and clarity? Comment below. I want to know what your routine is. And if you don't have one, I want you to admit it in the comments, because admitting it is the first step toward changing it. This is step one. And it's important because when I finally tell you what's about to happen, what no one else is telling you, you'll understand why clarity is your most powerful defense. But don't think for a second, this is all you need. No, there are more steps, each one building on the other, leading to the final and most important strategy. The sixth strategy will be the one you cannot live without. But let me warn you, if you skip ahead, if you tune out, you will miss the hidden connections that make the revelation at the end possible to understand. Remember, the truth is not random, it is layered, it is patterned, and once you see the full picture, you'll never unsee it again. So here is my promise. I will give you wisdom that is rare, that is not spoken about in the mainstream, and I will give you preparation strategies that most people will never think of. This isn't about fear, it's about faith, it's about courage, and it's about responsibility. Stay with me, because we are only getting started. Let me be clear. Most people are not ready for what is coming. They think life will keep moving forward, as it always has. They trust routines, traditions, institutions, and yet beneath the surface, the ground is shifting quietly, invisibly. And if you're not prepared, the wave will sweep you away. That's why I'm urging you, do not skip anything I'm about to say, because what I share here connects directly to what I will reveal at the end. What's about to happen that almost no one sees coming. I gave you the first preparation step, strengthen your clarity systems. But clarity alone isn't enough. Once you see, you must also stand firm. The second strategy is this: build resilience through decentralization of your dependence. Think about this. Where do you get your food, your money, your news, your medicine, your hope? For most people, it all flows from one or two sources: banks, government programs, major media, big stores. What happens when even one of these collapses, delays, or shifts? Most are left powerless. Here's the truth. History has shown us over and over again that overdependence on one stream makes entire societies vulnerable. And yet, very few people are thinking about this right now. Let me ask you, if tomorrow your bank app didn't open, if your grocery store shelves were half empty, if the medicine you rely on was delayed by just 2 weeks, what would you do? Write your honest answer in the comments right now. Don't just watch passively. This matters. Some of you will write, I don't know, and that's okay. Admitting unpreparedness is the first step toward wisdom. Now let me tell you a story. A family in Texas faced a major power outage in their city last year. Most of their neighbors panicked. No electricity, no heat, no access to digital payments. But this family, they weren't wealthy, but they had practiced decentralization. They had a small backup generator. They had a pantry with extra food supplies. Not because they were paranoid, but because they planned. They had handwritten phone numbers of relatives and neighbors. And most importantly, they had faith. They prayed together, keeping their spirits grounded, while others spiraled. For 3 days, they became the center of strength in their community. And when the lights came back on, their neighbors said, we never want to be caught unprepared again. That's resilience. That's what I want for you. So here's my advice. Decentralize in small but consistent ways. Don't depend on one bank account. Keep a backup. Don't depend on one news source. Cross-check and think critically. Don't depend on one store. Learn small ways to provide for yourself. Even spiritually, don't depend only on others to feed you. Build your personal relationship with God through prayer and reflection. Because when external voices go silent, your own connection to Him will carry you through. This is why I keep coming back to that 31-day daily high-impact planner. Use it to track not just your thoughts, but also your dependence. Write down, where does my food come from? My energy, my joy, my knowledge. You'll start to see patterns. You'll start to see where you are too vulnerable. And once you see it, you can begin to spread it out, making yourself resilient. Let me ask you this. Where do you feel most vulnerable right now? Is it finances, health, faith, community? Drop your answer in the comments. And don't just type a word. Share why. Your honesty may spark a solution for someone else watching. Imagine the value of a community conversation right here in the comments. Seniors and adults from across America and beyond, giving each other wisdom. And if you agree that decentralization is wisdom, I want you to comment the word strength. Just that one word, because it signals to others that you're taking this seriously. Now I want to deepen this with a hidden truth. Patterns repeat themselves. Civilizations that ignored decentralization collapsed. Rome, ancient Egypt, even the financial crisis of 2008 taught us how fragile centralized dependence is. And yet people go right back to trusting one fragile system. Why? Because it feels easy. But ease today often becomes pain tomorrow. I need you to understand something. Decentralization isn't paranoia. It's wisdom. It's not fear. It's foresight. It's not about hoarding. It's about preparing to be strong enough to help others when the storm comes. Imagine that. If you are resilient, if you are steady, if you are clear, then when your children and grandchildren feel panic, you will be the one they run to. You will be the anchor in their storm. Isn't that worth it? And yet we are only beginning. You see, resilience is only one leg. The truth I will share with you at the end will explain why decentralization is not optional. It is survival. But for now, I want you to hold on to this. Clarity first. Resilience second. We are walking step by step into a reality that most people do not see. And by the end of this, you will not only know what is coming, you will know how to live differently because of it. Stay with me. Don't miss what comes next. If you're still here listening, you're already ahead of most people, because most will turn away when truth starts pressing on their comfort. But you're here. And that tells me something about you. You want to know, you want to prepare, and you sense that what I'm saying connects to something bigger, something your spirit already knows, but hasn't been put into words yet. Remember, clarity was the first, resilience through decentralization was the second, but here's the third strategy, and it is one of the most ignored of all. Rebuild your circle of trust before it's too late. Listen carefully. The single greatest weakness in American life today is the breakdown of trust. Families divided, communities isolated, neighbors turned into strangers. And here's the truth. When pressure comes, when systems crack, you will not survive alone. You need people you can trust and people who can trust you. Without that, you may have food, you may have money, but you will still crumble. Let me ask you, how many people in your life right now could you call at 20 a.m. if you're in danger, and they would come without hesitation? Write the number in the comments. Be honest. Some of you will say 0. Some 1, some 2, and if your number is low, that is your warning sign. I'll tell you a story. In Michigan during the floods, a few years ago, a man in his 70s told me he had all the supplies he needed. He had generators, food, and even medical backup. But when the flood hit, he realized he couldn't lift his generator by himself. He couldn't move heavy objects. And when his phone battery died, he had no one to call. Supplies couldn't save him. People could. He said afterward, I prepared for everything except friendship. That's the hidden truth no one talks about. Preparation is not just about things, it's about relationships. So here's what I want you to do. Take out your 31-day daily high-impact planner. Yes, the one I mentioned earlier. And over the next week, I want you to write down the names of people you can truly trust. And beside each name, write down what you can offer them. Not just what you need from them, because trust is built through giving, not just asking. Now let me challenge you. How many people trust you? If you were the one holding the generator, would they call you? If the answer is I don't know, then you have work to do. Trust must be rebuilt, because when the shaking begins, isolation will break people faster than hunger or loss. Comment this word if you agree. Trust. And then tell me, do you believe America has lost its sense of community? Yes or no? Drop your answer below. Let's see how many of you believe this breakdown is real. Here's the hidden pattern. Every collapsing empire in history first rotted socially before it collapsed economically. People stopped trusting each other. They isolated. They fought among themselves. And then when an external storm came, they had no unity left to withstand it. Look at the signs today. Division, suspicion, hostility. The pattern is repeating, and most people are blind to it. I want you to picture this. What if the systems you rely on failed for just a week? Would you have someone to lean on? Would someone lean on you? Or would everyone in your neighborhood panic each for themselves? This is why rebuilding trust is not optional. It's survival. Now let me draw this deeper. Trust doesn't only exist horizontally with people, it exists vertically with God. If you've neglected that relationship, you will find yourself shaken when crisis comes. Because without trust in Him, you'll fear every headline, every rumor, every disruption. But when you know who holds your future, you walk differently, calm, steady, anchored. That's why I'm reminding you again, prayer is not weakness, it is preparation. So let me ask you this, and I want real honesty. When was the last time you prayed sincerely for someone else? Write it in the comments. Yesterday, a month ago, I don't remember. Share it, because admitting the distance is the first step toward rebuilding it. I'll leave you with this thought. Your future strength will not come from isolation, but from your circle of trust, people you can count on, and the God who will never fail you. But this is only one piece of the puzzle, because there is a reason trust must be rebuilt now. There is a reason decentralization, there is a reason clarity is urgent. And by the end of this message, I will show you exactly what all these pieces are pointing to, what's about to happen, that most people have no idea about. And when I tell you, you'll understand why I've been warning you. Step by step, stay close. We are moving deeper. The fourth thing you must prepare for is clarity in chaos. Because let me tell you something, most people don't collapse because of the event itself. They collapse because of the confusion that follows. When the unexpected hits, the real danger is not just what's happening outside, but the panic and fog that blinds people inside. Think about it. Every major moment in history
from sudden financial crashes to natural disasters, had one thing in common. The majority were paralyzed in the first moments, not because they lacked strength, but because they lacked clarity. They didn't know what to do next, who to believe, or where to turn. And in that hesitation, everything unraveled. Let me ask you, if everything around you changed tomorrow, do you have a plan of clarity, or would you freeze, waiting for someone else to tell you what to do? Drop your answer in the comments. Write clear if you know your steps, or fog if you realize you might freeze. And if you're brave, share what you think your first move would be. Here's a truth most people miss. The human mind, in crisis, burns more energy in confusion than in action. Panic drains faster than preparation. This is why so many people with resources still fall apart. They had no internal map when everything turned upside down. Let me pull you deeper. Look around at the endless noise right now. Conflicting news, half-truths, distractions pulling at you from every direction. Do you see it? This is not random. It's conditioning people to live in constant fog, so that when a real storm comes, they won't know what voice to follow. This is why clarity is no longer optional. It's survival, and clarity is built before the storm. One way you can begin is by practicing small decisions with certainty every single day. This is why I told you earlier about the 31-day daily high-impact planner, because it trains your mind to cut through fog, to set your path before distractions strike. It's not just paper, it's a weapon against chaos. So I'll ask you again, what do you do when the world around you turns dark and noisy? Do you let panic pull you under? Or do you act with clarity that others will look to? Drop it in the comments. Lead if you're ready to be that person. Learn if you're determined to sharpen yourself before it's too late, because what I'm about to show you next carries even greater urgency. It's something almost no one sees, yet it will determine whether you can even use clarity when the time comes. And this truth is why this video found you before it happens. The fifth thing you must prepare for is awakening your inner vision, your inner wisdom, and your inner strength. Because when the noise outside grows louder, your only compass will be the quiet voice inside you. I need you to hear this. History's greatest survivors weren't just prepared on the outside, they were prepared on the inside. They had trained their minds and hearts to see what others couldn't see, to sense patterns before they appeared, to stand steady when everyone else fell. That is not luck, that is inner preparation. Let me ask you something personal. Do you trust your inner compass enough to act when no one around you understands? Or are you still waiting for permission to see what you already know? Drop your answer in the comments. Write I see if you're ready to start trusting your inner vision. I seek if you're still searching for it. And if you've ever experienced a moment when your inner voice saved you from a wrong path, share it. Your story might awaken someone else. Here's a hidden truth. The strongest storms aren't meant to break you, they're meant to reveal you. But if your inner sight is dull, you will mistake warnings for noise and opportunities for threats. And that is how entire generations miss their moment. Do you see this pattern right now? The world is conditioning people to ignore their own instincts, to outsource their thinking, to silence their inner wisdom. It's happening quietly daily, and most don't even know it. That is why awakening your inner strength is no longer an option. It's your survival code. Begin small. Moments of stillness, reflective writing, noticing patterns in your own life. This is one reason I keep urging you to use the 31-day daily high-impact planner. It's not just about time, it's about training your inner sight, sharpening your decision lamp, and recording the small patterns your mind would otherwise forget. Over time, this builds an inner clarity no outside storm can erase. Let me pull you into something even deeper. What if the very reason this video found you now is because you already sense something is about to shift, but you haven't yet fully prepared your inner world for it? Ask yourself that question. Comment ready if you feel that stirring. Awaken if you want to begin. Because what I'm about to show you next will tie all of this together. It's the point where inner preparation and outer action collide. Most people have no idea this next truth even exists, but it will decide who rises and who collapses. This is why you cannot skip a single word from here on. This is the sixth most important preparation of all, the one no one is saying, the one hidden in plain sight yet invisible to almost everyone. It is the ultimate positioning of your life, your spirit, and your destiny before what is already unfolding right now. Listen to me carefully. What's coming isn't just another event on the news. It's not simply economic, political, or social. It is unseen, already here, silently moving beneath the surface. Most people can't sense it, because their inner eyes have been dulled, their patterns broken, their discernment trained to sleep. But it is here, it is arriving, and it is accelerating. You are not watching this by accident. This message found you now, because you are meant to hear it, before others, because what's about to happen will touch every life, directly or indirectly. Those who stay blind will be caught inside what I call the unseen matrix, a silent system, already weaving itself around lives, decisions, and even beliefs. And those who are awake, prepared and anchored, will escape it. Let me ask you, if everything you've been taught about how the world works suddenly collapsed, would you have the spiritual and mental anchor to stand, or would you be swept along like the rest? Drop your answer in the comments right now. Type anchor if you're ready to anchor yourself now. Awake if you're opening your eyes to what's really happening, or escape if you're determined not to be caught in the unseen net. And if you've ever felt that quiet nudge that something larger is moving beneath the surface of life, share it. Your comment might wake someone else up. Here's what most don't realize. Before any great visible change in history, there's always a silent and visible shift. Spiritual, cultural, psychological. Those who read the patterns early prepare. Those who don't are swept into it, unaware. Right now, that shift is happening. The signs are all around. Sudden polarization, mass confusion, voices silenced, hidden movements of power that look harmless but are not. But because it's invisible, because it's slow, most dismiss it as noise until it is too late. That is why your ultimate preparation must be to anchor yourself spiritually and position yourself. Draw closer to God, sharpen your discernment, protect your mind, build habits of stillness and reflection. Learn to read the invisible patterns before they break open in the visible. This is why I keep urging you to use the 31-day daily high impact, not just as a productivity tool, but as a discipline to track your inner and outer world, to anchor your priorities, and to notice patterns others ignore. This will protect you when confusion becomes the norm. And I need to be honest with you, even sharing this puts me at risk, because there are forces that do not want you awake, that profit from you being blind. But I had to tell you because I want you ready, I want you free. This is not the time to be passive. This is the time to anchor, to prepare, to stand, to choose now which side of history you will be on. Only those who prepare shall be ready. Only those who follow the instructions will be spared. Only those who train their eyes to see the unseen will escape what is coming. I want you to pause and ask yourself, why did this message find me now? Before everything breaks open, could it be because you are special, chosen to be warned before others? Could it be because you're meant to lead, not follow? Drop your answer in the comments. Type chosen if you feel it, ready if you're committed, lead if you know you're meant to guide others through what's coming, and unlisten. This is only the beginning of what I must share with you. Tomorrow's message will go even deeper, uncovering truths that will open your eyes wider, strengthen your preparation, and position you to not only survive, but thrive when others are lost. You cannot afford to miss it. So like this video now, subscribe to this channel, turn on the bell notification icon, so you don't miss tomorrow's message, because what's coming next is more eye-opening, more powerful, more helpful, more life-changing than anything I've shared so far. And I promise you this, no one else is telling you what I'm about to reveal. This is why you're here. This is why this message found you. This is why you must not skip a single word. Everything is falling into place, but if you are anchored, you will not fall with it. Check my playlist for more videos, and I'll see you in the